penalty area. So we're progressing them as to how they stay connected and command the play. Halftime analysis is one that this age group for sure can begin to make it a dialogue instead of a monologue. Too many times at halftime, even with teenage teams, I listen to coaches and it's all about the coach. The kids are sitting on the ground usually. The coach is standing there, maybe going off a little bit on what happened in the first half, and here's what we're going to do in the second half, and goes over usually a litany of things. And the kids who are fatigued remember only a couple of them. And as a player at halftime, what's the only piece of information you really want to know? Exactly. Am I going to play in the second half? Okay? Where am I? On the bench or on the field? Okay? The rest of it's wah, 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 wah. Okay? If it's a monologue from the coach, if it's a dialogue between the players and the coach, then the players understand the second half game plan better. If they were part of deciding what the game plan is going to be for the second half, they're more likely to execute it because they have ownership of the game plan. So under 12 on up, all right kids, from the first half, what's one thing you think we need to do when we're defending in the second half? Give me an idea. Now, give me one idea as to what you think we need to do when we're attacking in this next half. I want them to be thinking about it. As I do that, the first time I do it, it'll be like pulling teeth to get an answer from. But as I do it regularly, here's what will happen. They'll be walking off the field when the first half whistle blows, already begin to talk among themselves before they even get to the bench as to what they think they should be doing. They may be already beginning to sort out, well, I think this, and I think this, and I think this, and come up with, well, let's do this, and they'll come up with their own game. And I have had times when they get a little bit older that we come in, they're buzzing among themselves and going, that's good, do that for the second half, I'll see you. And I go sit down. Okay? Because it's about them being able to execute it, not me. Right? No team ever won based on what the coach knows. Teams win based on what the players know. If I engage them in the decision-making process at halftime, then the possibilities of them actually pulling it off in the second half go up. Nothing's perfect, but it improves. All right? Corner kick plays, maybe a little bit of kickoff play, particularly if we're down by a goal. How do we maybe put them back on their heels? Even if it doesn't result in a goal, maybe it results in a shot on goal, maybe it just results in we penetrate into the attacking third. We just want something to put that other team on their heels for a moment if they just scored against us and try to change the emotional sway of things. It's more of an emotional, psychological thing than necessarily an attack. Obviously, lots of ball passing in terms of different angles and shapes, distances between the first and second attacker for a wall pass, and being able to do it in tighter and tighter spaces like the other team's penalty area where the marking is tighter. Principles of defense, which gets to be just a lot of work. And we talked at the beginning here tonight about it being a transitional age group and all the things that are going on with them and all the changes that are occurring. The 8-a-side game is this bridge into the adult game of 11-a-side. It also promotes, because they're closer together, it promotes teamwork rather than just some individual play that occurs in the kick and run environment. All right? So some people talk about the logistic issues. Well, we need more field, we need more coaches, we need more referees. Okay? Yeah, we can overcome all of that. You know, in 1970, 1980, those 2 decades, because of the explosive growth of soccer, we never had enough fields. We never had enough coaches. We never had enough referees. But we dealt with it. And we overcame it and got ourselves to today. I think we're just as capable as the adults in the 70s and the 80s to deal with improving our environment and growing soccer in our country. So hopefully that gives you some foundation as to some of the things that we're doing prior to U12, why this is a fulcrum age group under 12, leading into the adult game of soccer that they can begin to play when they're teenagers, and how so much of, if we're doing this under 12 environment right, it provides a really good set of building blocks into under 14, under 16, onward. A lot of the things that we want them to be able to execute. So I thought we'd throw that out there. so we could kind of cover the spectrum by talking about this kind of middle fulcrum age group and cover the spectrum from U6 to U19 and some of the things that might be occurring for those ages. And now I just throw it open to what are some of your questions and thoughts and concerns in regard to coaching the different ages. One here and then here.
You kind of skimmed over defense just a little bit. U12, what do you recommend we teach them defensively?
For sure, I'm continuing to refine and improve all of the kids' abilities to defend individually. So when she's got the ball, I'm making good decisions on a number of things that I'm seeing as mistakes commonly across the country. The biggest one is they're over anxious, and as a consequence, they're stabbing in at the ball, they're diving in at the ball. And if this attacker is any good at dribbling, she's skinned me one way or another, and I'm left stranded. Right? So the biggest part is teaching emotional patience, a little of emotional restraint. Here's one of the big challenges with this, is from under 6 on, when the other team has the ball, what are the adults from my team yelling? Get the ball. Get the ball. Sometimes to the point of foaming at the mouth. Okay? Get the ball, get the ball, get the ball! Okay, sort of a thing. One of the things that we know tactically is you don't defend the ball in a soccer game. What you defend in a match is space. You defend the space behind you. You don't defend the ball. Because if the other team's good, particularly in regards to 1- and 2-touch passing, they're just going to ping the ball around and you're going to just be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, chasing the ball all over the field. What you really defend is the space behind you. Ultimately, that space funnels down to the goal mouth. But further upfield, it could be the penalty area, the defensive third, the space behind me in the midfield third, these sort of things. And what I'm trying to prevent is the ball and the opponent both getting into the space behind me. Okay? One, but not both. Okay? So this requires some patience, some reading of the game. Well, if I'm stabbing in as when I'm defending individually, I'm just not defending the space behind me. I'm increasing the chances that this opponent will get past me. The next piece that I see is because of that over-anxiousness, they come in too fast, physically too fast, so their bodies are out of control. Sometimes it's just clattering into the opposing player and giving away fouls, maybe getting booked. Sometimes it's, I'm coming in like the 5 o'clock freight train, and she just sidesteps me, and I parallel pass, and she's now attacking my goal, okay? And I'm trying to turn around and make a recovery run, okay? So some of it is, do I know when to come fast, when to begin to slow down, break down, lower my center of gravity, these sorts of things, so I'm physically under control. The next piece I see is when they make the decision to tackle, they're often tackling with the front foot. And because they're tackling with the front foot, they're basically just giving the ball a toe poke. And I can't gain possession of the ball that way. The best I can do is dispossess the opponent, which is my second choice when I'm defending. My first choice when I'm defending individually is get possession of the ball. That means I predominantly tackle with the back foot and the arch of the back foot so that I get a big piece of the foot on a big piece of the ball so I can gain possession of it. Okay? The basic block tackle. Okay? This sort of thing. So this means correct body posture, which a lot of them don't know how to get into the proper stance, emotional restraint, physical control, and then timing. When do I tackle? If she has really good control, don't tackle yet. Be patient. If she lets it get a little too far, now you go in, sort of a thing. So I have to continue to refine all of those pieces. And another piece that I have to refine, that I can refine, of individual defending at under 12, because they can begin to, they're conceptually understanding it, is the difference, particularly when I'm in the defensive third, as to how do I defend in the middle channel or flank channel. When I'm defending in the middle channel, if this is the opposing player, I've got to get basically here. But if it's out on the flank, I'm out on my left flank, okay? I don't want this person or the ball going into the middle space behind me, okay, the middle part of the field. So I've got to get here, forcing this person towards the touchline and the corner flag. I don't care if they go forward. I don't want them going in. okay? But a lot of kids, even out on the flank, still defend with the idea of not letting this person go forward, and they cut inside towards goal. And you're giving them a great angle for a shot on goal, sort of a thing. So begin that difference as to now taking the defensive third, and I'm recognizing its thirds within that third. Flank thirds, middle third, within that back part of the field. Beginning to work on that in terms of flank play, right? Then second defender. And I can definitely get into second defender and begin to teach it with some depth with under 12 players. What distance am I from you when you're defending? What angle am I you from when you're defending? And then the biggest piece, which is hard for some of the kids to learn how to do, is to speak up. Talk. Tell my teammate what to do. Force him right. Take him left. Don't tackle yet. Okay? Well, give him information. I'm not there yet. Wait. I'm here now. Go ahead. Whatever. Okay? I have 7 one-word commands that I teach my players when they're second defender to use. Left, right. Left, 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 left. That means I want you to force him to our left. Okay? Tighter. Get closer to him. More pressure. Looser. Back off a little bit. Contained. That means just hold him up. Don't try for the ball yet. Maybe that means I'm still getting here. Okay? Tackle. Okay? I want you to go for the ball. Switch means he got past you via a dribble or a pass. You and I are now switching roles. I'm going to step up to the ball and you're going to drop in behind me and become the support cover defender. Be the second defender. Okay? 7 one-word commands that I can bark out that you can understand even when you're fatigued. Because if I'm trying to bark out a sentence, if I'm fatigued, I'm not going to have the breath for it. If you're fatigued, you're not going to have the capacity to hear it and understand it and execute it. If I use one-word commands that I can repeat over and over. Left, left, tighter, tighter, tackle! Right? I can bark those out and you can understand them, even when you're tired.
One thing that I've noticed with, when my kids were younger, trying to teach them that left-right, is that a lot of kids, you say left-right, and they're trying to go, wait a minute, what's left and right? So we set up code words, coach side, their side, so that...
I need to go yellow shoelaces, blue shoelaces.
Yeah, we just set up a code word so that the kids would understand and they know.
What age?
This was the up through U12. I even still use it at my U12 age.
Okay, I'm thinking there's a problem if by 10 I don't know left and right. We have other issues.
I had a team that actually took and put blue wristbands on their left and red, and that was their signal. That's how they learned it. And then eventually the coach said, "No more wristbands. You're not going to have that for the rest of your career."
Yeah, I don't know if I'm basically just kind of substituting one word for another, but
But at that younger age, working with them. Yeah, it's something that they understood.
Because I honestly thought, I didn't think you were going to go there. Okay? I thought you were going to say they get confused on which left or right because they're thinking sometimes the attacker's left or right as opposed to